Hello, this is Shami reporting for 918 The Fan, and I'm here with Johnathan Klein. It's very nice for you to be here today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you please explain to us what you do as a director on anime?
Well, I both direct and produce anime, the English language versions of it. Basically, as a director, my job is to work with the voice actors to pull out the performances I feel are best for the characters they're playing, and trying to make the English dub as enjoyable as watching the Japanese dub, especially if you don't understand Japanese.
Do you ever analyze the Japanese so much that it never seems right when you turn it to English, or?
Well, you can't. It's a trap that some directors fall into, and I think I was probably like that very early on. You listen to the Japanese, you study it so much that you become a slave to it. You almost want it to sound like the Japanese, but in English. The difference is, though, that Japanese and English, are not just the language itself is different, but the intonations, the sentence structure, the way people pronounce things is totally different, and also the way they actually deliver their words. In Japanese, they talk with a dramatic pause mid-sentence on things, which we don't do in English, because unless you're William Shatner, then you can pause wherever you want. But otherwise, basically, you have to work around those things, because if you try to follow the Japanese to the letter, it comes out very awkward. And I think that's sometimes a failure in some English dubs, is they stick too close to the Japanese, trying to match it so perfectly that it weakens in some way. You have to let the actors sort of make the characters themselves, develop their own persona. I'm not saying change them radically or turn it, let's say the character's all hyperactive and the director make them sort of this lethargic, depressed character. But the point is, they have to be able to interpret the role the way that suits their performance best. It's like, Shakespeare, lots of people do, play the same roles in Hamlet or something like that, but they each have their own interpretation of the character.
So, you've worked on anime and you've worked on video games.
Yes.
What's the major difference between them?
Well, that's a good question. The biggest difference between video games and anime is anime, the story is linear. You start at the beginning and you work your way all the way through to the end. And you'd say it doesn't matter what the characters that you have. You have, maybe, you record one character at a time, but you're still starting at the very beginning of the episode and work your way to the end, or beginning of the series to the end of the series. Video games, it's depending on the game, especially with RPGs, which is mostly what I do. It's a non-linear progressiveness, and they have different paths. So depending on the type of game I'm working on, I could be starting with storyline, and there's like the what if branches. They go this way, what if go that way, and then after all that's done, then they have like these other sections like when they have interactions with specific characters. They're in between all the different story scenes that you already recorded, and on top of that, you have the battles you have to do for the different fighting sounds and stuff like. So there's no linear progression with that. So it just goes. It's a big jumble, and it's hard as a director because you have to sort of keep your characters focused, or your actors focused on the character as where they are in the story's progression, so they don't either take it too far ahead or weaken it to there's a lot of the characters are the young heroes that have to sort of go through a trial to become the great hero that they will become at the end of the game. Right. You have to make sure that they're not too underconfident or overconfident in the character, depending on where you are in the game.
Basically, so they don't get confused.
Right.
But you talked about sounds and battle sounds and branching, and you just worked on Street Fighter.
Yeah, we produced the English language version of Street Fighter 4.
Now, did you also, were you involved with the movie as well? Because it was packaged.
Oh, the anime,
yeah.
Yes. It was called The Ties That Bind.
And it was in the special edition or something.
Yeah, we did the anime. The thing was, the irony, the interesting is, we did the anime before the anime was even made.
Right.
It was, all we had was a translated script and the Japanese recordings. We didn't have any even animatics to work with. We had a few pictures or something like that to see certain scenes, but it's just a lot of explanation. So it was kind of like recording American prelay, American TV animation. We call that prelay, where you record the voices first and then do the animation. The only problem was, the Japanese decided they were going to time the lip movement to the Japanese only.
Oh boy.
So we tried to be as close as possible to the Japanese as we could. Of course, again, we didn't want to compromise performance by making things a little longer, a little shorter. That would mess up the performances. We had to throw in a word or take out a word, or have the person deliberately stretch out a word. But we tried our best, and sometimes the animation lip flap matches really well, and sometimes it's so-so. But performance-wise, I'm very happy with everybody's performance. And it happens with games too, video games. Like I did some of the Valkyrie Profile games.
Oh yeah, those are very good.
And I remember working on those. They said, "Oh, here's your timing range. You have like 10 or 15% over or under the Japanese." Well, and they'll tell me they're going to fix it afterwards in CG, and then the game comes out and they say they didn't fix it at all. So I'm like, oh, if you just told me, I would have gotten much tighter with it. So I've learned my lesson with it. So the games that I do now, I try to be as tight as possible without compromising performances.
Because a lot of companies, like the only one I can think of that actually goes back and does it like Square Enix, but they have the funding for it.
Well, no, they're Valkyrie Profile was a Tri-Ace game.
Right.
But it is distributed by Square Enix, so it's good.
It's a publisher just for itself.
Yeah. But we did, but it's true. Like we did Last Remnant for Square Enix, and that was actually, it was recorded in English first, and then the Japanese dubbed it from the English version.
So they got to take your job.
So they had to match our lip flaps.
you got to actually have the upper hand for once.
Yeah, take that, Japanese.
Exactly. So what other projects are you working on currently, or can we talk about any of them?
Well, the only ones I can mention right now, we're coming out with another video game from Square Enix. It's a Final Fantasy title. It's called Final Fantasy: The Crystal Bearers.
Oh yeah.
It's for the Wii, and it's really an amazing. It's going to put the full potential of the Wii in terms of what graphics and actual interaction with the nunchucks or whatever it is,
right,
to make it a really interesting interactive Final Fantasy game. It's not going to be an RPG like the other Final Fantasy series, but it's still in the same tradition. And if you played any of the other Crystal games, like Crystal Chronicles
and that whole thing.
it falls into that universe. So there's a lot of history. I would say it takes place like 1,000 years from the last.
Oh, interesting to know, because I didn't know anything about the new one. I just knew the date.
But it's really good. I got to play a sample of it at E3, and I was very impressed with what's going on with it right now. And I don't know the exact release date. I'm assuming it's probably going to be before the end of 2009. If not, it'll probably be early 2010.
And do you ever get to like play your work afterwards and be like,
Yes and no. Well, yeah. At first, of course, when you're starting off in video games or anime directing, you're like you sit, you watch it, and you criticize yourself too. But the problem with video games with anime, you just watch it. You can watch the thing all. The video games, you have to be good at video games to actually watch the whole thing. And I remember like when I did Valkyrie Profile 2, I got through like the first 4 or 5 chapters. I got to like chapter 6. I was like, oh, this is so frustrating. I just gave up on it. And I was like watching the videos for the cutscenes on YouTube because I just couldn't actually watch it on the actual PlayStation 2. But I do like to watch it. Sometimes I like to see. I wish that had come out better. Or sometimes the problem with video games is like the thing with the Street Fighter 4 with the anime. We don't get the visuals. We don't match lip flap because they just give us some character images and they tell us the story, and we just have to record it within a certain time frame.
Here, have fun.
Yeah, but that's where a lot of games are done these days. I mean, it used to be when there was a long lag between the Japanese release and the US release, they had the whole game to work off of, that they could actually see the game and the visuals and see the lip flaps and do it. Now everything's simultaneous release, especially Square Enix. Their big goal now is simultaneous releases. Sometimes we worked on a game. I did Star Ocean 4, and they were still recording in Japanese while we were recording in English.
So you just had to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, well, we would hear the audio files as they would send it to us, and then they would say, oh, we changed it, now it's longer. Oh, we changed it, now it's shorter. It's like, so we
Thanks, guys.
No, they gotta work.
Right.
The story, there are people working on the story, and they want to make it make sense. And when you're dealing with a story that has like 12,000 lines of dialogue in it. And there's always going to be changes, especially when you hear one character playing off another. You say, oh, that doesn't make sense, or it doesn't sound right. So they'll come back to us and say, okay, can you record this actor again? Oh, we made this change. Usually we work it out. We sort of time our actors after their actors, so we wouldn't fall into the trap of getting changes after we're recording.
Well, it's nice that you guys go off with each other, even though there's a cultural difference. But is there anything else you'd like to plug for our viewers? I'm sure they'd like to know.
You know, we still have a lot of titles out that we worked on. I know, like Hellsing Ultimate, it's a big fan favorite. The first 4 chapters are now available through Funimation. We're looking forward, hopefully, to be working on the next couple of chapters. They're already out in Japan. No news on that yet, but hopefully soon. We'll see what happens. We did something for Viz not too long ago that was released called Ice Pure, which we dubbed for them, and it's a full box that you get the Ice Pure series, plus you get the bonus episodes from Eyes, which were sort of a series they did before Eyes Pure. From Eyes was basically like somebody said, oh, Eyes manga looks interesting, let's chuck the whole story out and start all over again, make a Scooby-Doo episode.
Oh boy!
But it's funny in a way, because to see the progression that they went to that, and they said, okay, now let's go back to the source material and do Eyes Pure, which was what it was. It was following the storyline up to a certain point. But we had a lot of fun working with that, and it's a really nice sort of romantic title. No giant robots or magical girls, it's straight drama.
And slice of life, kind of.
A little more than slice of life. I've done slice of life shows like Me Under 7, Haibane Renmei, and Ruko Takahashi Anthology was kind of like that. Paranoid Agent, well, that's a little more suspenseful. But again, those sort of take place in real life situations rather than liking up this fantasy world.
Yeah, but we enjoy both. But we really appreciate you being here.
It's my pleasure.
Appreciate you for being here for the interview. I'm Kanashimi, this is Johnathan Klein, and we're signing out.